Hello, this is Gonzo, and this is just a continuation of the previous installment's recording. No introduction needed. I'm just going to continue on from where I left off with the previous curry chapter. Sorry. How about we just click continue and just go on? I might have explained this before, but phys ed at our school really is just an exercise and disorder. After some random warm-ups, the rest of the time is spent doing whatever. You're free to cause a ruckus or just fall asleep. I'm not really sure, but doesn't the Board of Education have a curriculum on this? Something like when you're this old, you should have this amount of physical ability. I have no idea what you're talking about, Kei-san. Rather difficult to understand. Well, you see, it's something like a rule of teachers to follow during class. Maybe your weak city folk need something like that, but do you really think us country kids will lag behind in physical ability? We better athletes than you would think, Keiichi. Come to think of it, they might be right. We all lined up for a race. There's a good chance I'd finish that last if I didn't start off well. Let's just pray that when a burial penalty game is in a state 100-meter dash and there's a club at... Sorry, I misread that shit. Let's just pray that when a brutal penalty game is at stake, the 100-meter dash isn't a club activity. On that note, I watch too much television, so I'm fantastically tired. I'll be using this time to catch up on sleep. Fourth period and I'm completely starved. If I don't sleep now, when will I ever? Doesn't bring this sprawl out on top of a pile, Neon grabbed me by the collar. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Do you really think I'd let you sleep in peace and quiet? With that look on your face, it'll require more courage to try and take a nap than not. Good grief. It probably means it's gonna start up again. Now, just killing time without chit-chat until the bell rings is impossible for us hot-blooded youth, isn't it? Shall we start a club activity? It's just as I thought. You come to this. What is today's game then? Now that this is happening, taking a nap is impossible. Let's just start with the sleep-deprived head of mine. I'm as good as minced meat. I have to get Brian into gear. Renan thinks we should decide what today's penalty game should be before we start. Renan knows what's up. I prepared something super special. She began to announce the cool penalty game with a grand spinning flourish. But before she could do that... I'm sorry, I have something that I wanted to do. Of all the people, it was Rika that was announcing her non-participation. Even rare events do eventually occur. Losing her timing, she spun like a top as she tumbled to the ground. What's the matter? Aren't you not feeling well? Oh, that's right, Mii-chan. She had to practice for the Cotton Drifting Festival. That's right. It's Sunday. Rika's in the middle of super serious training right now. I've been working too hard. My arms hurt. I see. Well, there's nothing that can't be done. No point in doing anything if we can't get everybody together. How about we just take it easy? I'm sorry. I'll try my best. Yeah, good luck. We'll be cheering you on. When Mion announced that today's club activity was cancelled, Rika and Sadako headed off behind the school building. Only I was left, completely clueless as to what everyone was talking about. Wait, what was it about? Rika-chan training for a competition? She's trying meeting for the Watanagashi, so she has to perform a ritual dance as practice. Why don't you explain things in order? First off, yeah, we're probably going to have to go through this, so... It'll probably fast forward because we've already noticed about what the Cotton Drifting or Watanagashi Festival is. So I'm probably gonna have to like skim through it. Don't worry, I'll be able to fast forward with the magic of editing. Stop here. So we're pretty much established what the Watanagashi Festival is by the previous chapter. And if you don't, I think you're going to need to watch Chapter 1. I am not going through that shit again. So, let's see what's going on here. We pretty much established that, well, we know what Higurashi is, and Rika is a shrine maiden for that festival. Oh lord, I might as well just continue with this. Rika in a shrine outfit. Oh, so cute. It seems something that would definitely suit her. And might be that cute. I finally get what you're saying. So she is training for her performance as a shrine maiden for this festival. That would be it. The shrine maiden has to purify a number of futons as part of the ceremony. Right now she's practicing for just that, a lot of hard work. The shrine maiden has to carry a large ceremonial hoe as a part of the ritual. And it's really heavy for Rika-chan. Wait, you went from cute to normal. I'm concerned. Well, Rika's pretty small. Exactly how heavy is it? Pretty heavy. Enough Rika has been practicing with a mochi mallet. Wait a minute. That's awfully heavy. Forget about Rika. That'll be rough even for me. A sacred ceremonial hoe. If she dropped it by accident, it'll probably be big trouble. It's a once-a-year kind of deal. So all you can do is cheer from the sidelines. It'll be okay. She pulled it off last year. Least I can do is cheer her on then, even if something that little will help. I was rather curious. Mion left as she shook her head. Leave her alone. If you go, Rika will get all cute and won't be able to practice. Wait. I didn't quite understand what that was about. You see, Rika doesn't like showing people how hard she works, okay? Leave her be. Even the always cool and aloof Rika has times where she sweats while giving her all. She was always so well put together, she didn't want people to see an ungainly side of her. Not like I couldn't understand that feeling. So all I gotta do is pray for her success, huh? Do your best. Rika Furude, I'm cheering for you. Will that work? Well, I climbed onto the pipe and plopped down on my side. I would transmit more of my psychic waves of encouragement. I'm being in a meditative state now. So you're just gonna sleep? Fuck! The lackadaisical noontime ended up giving way to mind-numbing afternoon classes. Rebounding from yesterday's hunger, I ate too much for lunch today, leaving me in a horrible condition. Okay, I really gouged myself a bit. I'll have to enter afternoon classes. Keiji-kun, you have amazing appetite. Basically, you always eat like a pig, but today was on a whole different level. I skipped lunch, didn't I? The hunger just soaked right in. No matter how much I ate, my hunger knew no bounds. I gotcha. Really, Kei-chan? You always finish your lunch down to the last bite. Heck, even down to the last grain of rice. With food, you show appreciation for the person who made it by eating it, you know? If you leave anything behind, it would be rude to the person who put all that effort into it. Hearing that, her eyes momentarily widened with surprise, with a cool laugh. Haha, Kei-chan, really? At first glance, you seem unruly irresponsible, but you're pretty conscious. Well, conscientious, I'm sorry. I can't even pronounce things right. Well, disciplined or something like that. Yeah, Rena thinks so too. Keiji-kun's a lot kinder than he looks. Both of them were probably trying to compliment me, but I have a strange feeling I wasn't being complimented. Not true, I just wanted to say that there's a big gap between your appearance and your personality. And I'm saying that as not a compliment. Hey, Sonozaki, Mayabara, we're in the middle. How far did you get, Sonozaki? Bring your notes up here. Startled, she vocalized the right uneasy utterance. She was so enthralled in the conversation, she stopped working. Doing alright? You haven't progressed at all, didn't you? You're in the highest grade, you have to shape up. Looks like she's getting lectured. Poor bastard. Appearances can be so deceiving. appearances might be the opposite of reality. Interesting things. Responding to Rena's seemingly profound statement, I turned my gaze to where Satoko was happily studying together with Rika. So are you saying that brat over there might be actually meek? If I went by what Rena said, it would be the case. I can only imagine Satoko being so meek and gentle like a girl in a fairy tale. She's been rude lately, but just a while ago she was pretty different. She acted really spoiled and, yeah, keep us a secret from Satoko, please. Not Satoko acting cute? For Satoko to play coy, I think that would have been some part of a calculated plot. Even if she was to hide behind someone, I would think it was because she was attached to them. Well, since it came up, I tried to imagine it gentle. And I can't even pronounce that. Hey, Satoko. What is it, Oni-sama? He smiled cutely. She was walking towards me. For every 3 steps forward, for some reason, I took 3 steps back. Oni-sama, why are you running away from me? I'm sorry. For you to approach me with an affectionate smile, I just had to think it's some sort of trap. That's so mean, Oni-sama, you meanie. I'm so sorry, I didn't intend to be so mean. But whipping Satoko came closer to me. I'm a sucker for tears. Click. Clank. Uh-oh. It's a bear trap. My leg was being clamped on by jagged metal teeth. Oh, you fell for it. Now for the next part. She raised her right arm triumphantly and traps began to trigger one after another. Suddenly the wall sprang forward, throwing me 3 blocks away. And then I saw a giant metal ball covered in spikes hurling towards me. On top of that, in the direction the ball would knock me was a giant guillotine. I'm not really sure, but Keiichi-kun, you thinking of anything completely ludicrous right now, are you? Actually, no, not at all. That's a lie. You've got the kind of look on your face that said, I'm gonna be crushed by a giant spike metal ball. Man, how could my expression convey what I was thinking? Sorry, imagining a weak and gentle Satoko is impossible. I'll be trying it again when I'm in better shape. Next, I looked over to Rika, who was working diligently on kanji drills. In contrast to Satoko, her default state was meek and gentle. If Rika came to me saying Oni-sama, I'd hug her right away, tightly. I could get used to that. Keiichi-kun, you're drooling. Sorry. How about Rika-chan? Are you saying that her parents might be deceiving? Saying that out loud, I feel a tinge of doubt. Was Rika really all sweet? Despite her appearance, she was quite shy. Sweetly, well, how do you put it? Evading things deftly. I get the feeling Rika isn't only just sweet, her appearance is definitely deceiving. Not saying. I couldn't put exactly what I was imagining into words, but Rena managed to say what I just needed. She turned to me with an impish look, like she was saying, you shouldn't say something like that. When Rika was growing up, I'm sure she'll become an incredibly devilish beauty with men wrapped all around her little finger. Don't you think that would be cool? Oh, the wonders of the internet. Rena said that lightheartedly, but I, as a man, just couldn't laugh. The scary part was that it felt like it could be true. Noticing my gaze, she turned towards me and let loose an angelic smile. Both Rena and I, feeling as if that was directed towards us, had our hearts skip a beat. So cute, so cute. Rena, your nose is bleeding. Appearances can be deceiving. Or what about our dear leader, Mion? I stared at her as she tried to weasel her way out of her scolding by the teacher. By Rena's theory, that unrefined, calculating, convincing Mion had a side of her that belied appearances. Then what you're saying, Mion, despite her appearance, is a good person? Michan is a good person. Well, that is true. But what I'm trying to say is... I know what you're trying to say, Keiji-kun. Catching on that I was struggling to express my feelings as words, she smiled brightly. Know what? Michan is mysterious. She's a girl, but it's like she's a guy. That's right. She was more than aware that she was a girl, but it's exactly as Rena said. When Mion livened up the mood, it wasn't as though she felt like a guy or a girl specifically, but a friend of the same gender. If she were a guy, we'd probably be two peas in a pod. Although that's the same way it is right now, come to think of it. But you see, even that Michan is actually really feminine. Rena, how much does she pay you exactly? Not true! Jeez, I'm trying to have a serious conversation, you know? She began to pout. Probably wasn't the right time to joke around. Michan's club president, so she's trying hard to lead everybody, but she's really a cute girl. I really don't want you to forget that, Keiji-kun. Rena's gaze focused off into the distance, beyond where Mion was. The Mion I met at Angel Mart was unimaginably different compared to the Mion that I normally knew. Flustered and hesitant from the unfamiliar job, it was a far cry from the brash and confident Mion. Even though she had to hurry to work, she went through all the trouble to bring me food when I was on the brink of starvation. And she did not so as Mion, but Shion. So what exactly was Shion to Mion? What kind of a person was she exactly? Keiji-kun probably couldn't even begin to imagine. As if to say it was our little secret, Rena held her finger up to her lips as she giggled. Mion was finally free from the teacher's preaching as she returned to her seat, cradling her head to hide embarrassment. This old man, you see, thinks that grade school's enough for everything you need to study for in life. Saying that, she plopped down to her seat violently. I was surprised based on the previous chapter he wasn't lectured about curry. Mion feminine. Right. I wonder if I can meet Shion again. I want to talk to her again. The principal waved around the bell that served as the school chime. The teacher rushed back to the blackboard and began to list everybody's homework assignments. Whoa, looks like there's going to be a lot of homework today. Looks like we gotta buckle down. Well then, that means even Rena? What do you mean? Appearances can be deceiving. Would that apply to you? Keiji-kun, how do you see me? How? Rena Ryugu that I knew sometimes took things too far, but was a gentle, kind, ideal girl. Really? Really? That makes me happy, I guess. If she was the opposite of what she seemed, that would make her... And if I were the real opposite? Just try saying it. I won't be mad. That's what I felt she meant. Rena's... And she's... Even if you were the opposite, you'd still be Rena, right? That question shouldn't have been so nerve-wracking to answer. Maybe it's because the person in question was staring at me, but even saying that, it took a strange amount of effort. It's no fair. It bothers me when you say it that way. Perhaps unable to endure my silence, her face began to burn red with embarrassment. Rena, Kei-chan, let's go home. She walked over and started to get ready to go home. Whenever school is over, she really does get noticeably energetic. The same relaxing walk as always. Digging around my pocket on a whim, I noticed something that should have been there was missing. What's the matter, Kei-chan? The key to my house to carry around is gone. Where did I lose it? It's fine today since my parents are home, but still. That sure is troublesome. Did you forget it? Or did you drop it? Which one was it? Did I take it with me this morning in the first place? Keiji, did he have anything that would make it stand out? On a keychain. A blue fur seal. It's like I made for summer homework a long time ago. Does it have eyes shut like it's taking a nap? How'd you know? That's it. Mion looked away and began to whistle. See, you went for dinner at Angel Mart a couple of days ago. That night the staff found a key, and there was a fur seal keychain attached to it. As she said that, she suddenly grew flustered and added that Shion told her all about it. So I dropped it. But aren't you glad they found it? I'm sure they're looking after it for you. That's right. Why don't you go? Shion looks the same as me, so you'll know her by sight. A rather unexpected development. Once again, I had no choice but to go and meet her. But I also had to thank her for the bento from yesterday. Besides, taking some time and chatting with this other side of me may be interesting. Half jokingly, I began to think about things like this. Right, Angel Mart. I'll be heading over to Shion's restaurant and get my key back. While I'm at it, having iced spotted tea might not be a bad idea. You sound like an English gentleman. That totally doesn't suit you, Kei-chan. Is this the restaurant, the one that Mi-chan's little sister is working at? Yeah, why don't we go together, right, huh? Sorry to disappoint you, but I have plans with my dad today. Some other time? She seemed disappointed about having to miss such a great opportunity. You said they're twins, but did they look that much alike? You'd have to mistake which is which? Yeah, totally the same. At least on the outside. Unlike Mion, she's well-mannered and cute. In response to my teasing, Mion pouted and began to argue. I couldn't help but burst out laughing at her little farce. After all, they weren't just identical, they were pretty much probably the same person. After going home, I changed my clothes and dug my bike out of the garage. Thinking I would be able to meet Shion again gave me a mysterious feeling. A name for a different kind of Mion. A mysterious and ridiculous person believed she had fooled everyone. I noticed that I was pedaling along quite happily. Could it be I was looking forward to meeting her? I felt a sense of giddy anticipation, like I was heading towards a new friend's house for the first time. What Rena said about Mion actually became really feminine, sprang to mind once again. The guilt from spying on another side of Mion, the self-consciousness from being the only one that knew about that side, these feelings mixed together. That was Shion for you, Mion's little twin sister. Until she felt like coming out and admitting she was Mion, it was fine to just call her Shion, right? Mion might be trying to have some fun by acting out a different persona. I hope this isn't glitched. The last time I wasn't embarrassed, since I was here with Dad, but this time alone I was strangely self-conscious about it. Meeting Shion, getting a key back, that was all this task was supposed to be. If I drove around like this, maybe Shion would find me before she headed in for work. What are you doing, Keiichi? You're just here to get your key back, don't you know? Not like you're gonna be some love-struck schoolboy here handing out a love letter. The thoughts in my head were slowly turning into a jumbled mess. I came to the realization that I was downright giddy. That's why for just a bit, just a tiny little bit, I got a little carried away and did something really stupid. I kicked over a parked motorcycle that was blocking the sidewalk. It was in the way, sure, but it was no need for me to kick it. I definitely think I got too carried away. As the three bikes toppled over one after another, like dominoes, the loud noises that snapped me back to senses. Oh shit! Oh, you think you're doing? The owners of those three bikes were right there. They looked exactly like what you call thugs up to no good. They lifted their heads up in an imposing manner and yelled angrily in a way that I have never heard before. The three of them beelined towards me, the worn-down heels of the thinly soled shoes slapping noisily against the pavement. I could only stare listlessly as if I were watching something far-off event that didn't concern me at all. By the time I realized that, they'd been grabbing by the collar and lifted me on my tiptoes. Doobie played dumb. You knocked him over, didn't you? The three thugs were completely ignoring rules of grammar. The way they spoke was enough to make me tremble. Just like that, my composure drained. Legs buckled and my throat grew dry enough to crack. I'm sorry, I accident my ass. You kicked it, didn't you, dumbass? I was completely at fault, so there was nothing I could say in my defense. As a result, I was pulled up even higher. The hell, man, that paint's all scuffed. Yo, Brad, who put you up to this, eh? This is your goddamn fault. The three of them continued to yell at me. I had no idea what each of them was saying. Getting further enraged that I was only listening while dumbstruck, they grabbed an empty plastic crate from a nearby store and began to smash it repeatedly against the telephone pole. Cracks formed the crate, plastic shards flying everywhere. Then they slammed it full force into the shutter storefront. The shutter let out a frighteningly loud noise. Not satisfied, they flipped over a case of empty cans, scattering its contents all over the place. Not normal. It's something you often saw on television or in a manga, but I never thought I'd see it in person to be this terrifying. I became painfully aware that the safety of civilized society was only held up by a frail concept as morals. My knees clattered together noisily. Sanity began to pepper my vision. This is what you would call absolute terror. Nothing I could do to stop this frightening spectacle of violence. I could only pray for help. The fear I felt was just too much. Would somebody help me? My gaze floundered about the surrounding area. I was surrounded by three hoodlums. No way there would be a passerby brave enough to intervene. Maybe this is what you call reaping what you sow. If I were a passerby, there would be no doubt that I ignored what was going on. As somewhat of a cosmic retribution. Fucking say something! I'll fucking stab you! Angrily yelling loud enough to rattle my eardrums, spewed forth right in my face. My waning consciousness was forcefully dragged back to the forefront. The thug had cocked back his free hand and twisted his body, when suddenly a metallic taste filtered through the back of my throat. A chill ran down my spine, like a jolt of electricity. Seeing what was going to happen next, I squeezed my eyes shut as tightly as possible and grit my teeth. You're quite the racket, you stupid pieces of trash. Get out of my sight. A voice a short distance away. Still holding me by the collar, the three thugs spun around to look behind them. The fuck you say? Standing there was Shion. Or maybe it's Mion. I don't know, but she stood there, displaying an imposing stature that I have never seen before. She didn't have the same look on her face as she did when we were playing around her in the club. The eyes that would instill fear of anyone that looked upon them. The eyes of a raptor. The epitome of terror, at the same time, the most reassuring things in the world. I'll only say this one more time. Let go of him and get lost. Without an ounce of fear, she laid down the ultimatum. There was no way that those three would go absolutely berserk. The situation instantly turned explosively dangerous. You fucking bitch! I'll fucking bash your head in! I'll swim in with mom! Stop it, Mion. These guys are rabid dogs. No amount of bluffing is going to work. Mion is dangerous, so I knew what I was saying, and it was pathetic. But I couldn't let her get involved in this. No matter how you looked at it, she was bluffing. But did she even know the meaning of the word bluff? The reason behind everything soon became apparent. They were slowly increasing in number little by little. It was only businessmen on their way home to stop and take a look. Then it was housewives in the middle of shopping taking a gander. Next, what seemed like the owner of some store showed up, and it's pretty clear he wasn't just looking. Around them, there were already several people gathered. Probably 7. It felt different than people coming out to support a friend. If I had to say why, it was probably because the group that gathered was diverse in age and gender. The three thugs seemed to slowly realize they were in a strange situation. What the hell are these guys? Behind them at some point, 4 more in different clothes and ages gathered. A girl who looked to be in middle school, a man wearing a bakery apron, an old lady in a house-cleaning smock. More and more people of various ages. Their gazes, comparable to Mion's, were of hostility, of intimidation. Before I realized that 10 people formed a ring around us. At the moment, 5 elementary schoolers ran and joined the circle. There were some familiar faces, some classmates. These people were residents of Hinamizawa, maybe? More and more from Hinamizawa gathered. In obvious contrast, the residents of the Fukunomiya were passing by as quick as possible. Look at you guys! Go the fuck away! The group surrounding us has suddenly swelled into around 20 people. Completely encircled, the faces of the thugs began to show the first signs of panic. Nobody spoke a word, Mion included. That made everything completely unnatural. Depending on which side you were on, it was terrifying. Only the thugs' voices echoed as they were screaming. Somebody took a step forward, closing the gap between them. As they did, everybody took a step forward, shrinking the circle. The hoodlums went pale as they were pushed together back to back while yelling angrily. They were trying to string together vulgarities, but for some odd reason it sounded like they were crying out for help. Alright, what's going on here? It was sudden. A solidly built officer cut his way through the crowd. At some point, 2 police cars have arrived. Some passerby had undoubtedly called for them. Several burly officers appeared from inside the second vehicle. This could get ugly. Oh, officer, good timing. There you go. The extortionists, caught red-handed. Please arrest them. The fuck? This brat's the one. What's wrong here? Mion, returning to her usual self, was nonchalantly pointing out the hoodlums. Of course the thugs were furious, but now that it come to this, nothing they could do. It was their loss. Okay, come over here for a sec. Come on already. The officers handcuffed the thugs and dragged them towards the police cars. The fuck? Let me go! We're the victims here! Are you listening, damn it? No matter how much of a ruckus they caused, the officers paid no heed. In the blink of an eye, they were crammed inside the 2 vehicles. They could still be heard yelling while inside the police cars, but what they were saying was no longer intelligible. You alright? You injured? It was probably a detective. It's Oishi! Hi! The man leading the police peered at my face. Not really. Well, that's a bit of a silver lining then. Well, have a good year. The portly man, after taking a quick look around, addressed the crowd. Thank you, citizens, for your timely report. Thanks to your efforts, we were able to keep the peace today. A wonderful thing. And thank you for the hard work, Detective Oishi. As a citizen, I thank you for your daily efforts. An honor for a detective of the 1st Division to come all this way. The way Shion talked didn't have a very pleasant tone. It was a coincidence. I happened to hear the call over the radio on my way back from the prefectural office. I just made a little detour. Just keep up the good work. I pray for success in your future endeavors. Ah, shucks. A good thing there were no injuries. Oishi-san, we're done here. Let's go. Well, have a good year. I'm sorry, could you make way? The Detective Oishi, after jovially making pleasantries, lumbered to the waiting police car. It quickly set off, disappearing down the city street. It was over quickly. So quickly I was dumbstruck. I didn't get to ask the officer what was going on. It was like they came here quickly to disperse the mob before any trouble could start. After making sure the police cars had left, Mion snapped her fingers. Alright, that's a wrap, and don't come back. That was the signal. The tension melted away in an instant as everybody began smiling. A middle-aged man helped me out. You okay, young Maivara? Next time pick your fight a bit better. It's not like I wanted to fight. You hurt anywhere? If you hit your head, it'll be a good idea to get an x-ray taken. The older lady I didn't know the name of was concerned about the injury. You were lucky this happened right in front of the station while I was busy. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to gather as many people. Next time, be more careful. City kids these days are pretty unruly. I was even warned by the old lady in smog. As Shion finished applauding the dispersing group for their efforts, she strode over to me. Well, you were pretty good, Kei-chan, but I also think you should be more careful about who you pick a fight with. Thanks, Mion, you saved my bacon. Like I said, I'm Shion. She made a troubled expression as she turned her gaze downward, blushing in embarrassment. I heard from my sister that first seal keychain was yours, right? Oh yeah, that's right. I was just heading to the restaurant. You ended up feeling so excited you got missed in something weird, didn't you? Now it's my turn to face to go red. I didn't want to admit that she was spot on. I was just unlucky, but you really saved my bacon then. You don't have to thank me. So if you see something else get bullied, help them out, okay? We value that kind of thing highly here. I was very well versed in that sense of camaraderie, but the way I was rescued just now, it was a little bit off about that. While I was helped out, it was honestly almost a disturbing degree. You're coming into the restaurant, right? You must be tired. How about you relax a bit? My treat. Seems that she caught a glimmer of suspicion in my eyes. Without waiting for my answer, she began walking. Huh. This might be something weird. Let's see what happens. After cooling off a bit inside the restaurant, little by little, I realized I was still on edge. There were spots here and there on my body that hurt, probably because I'd been so stiff with nervousness. Shion, who had changed to her uniform, brought over 2 glasses of iced coffee. Here you go, iced coffee's on the house. Bring this coupon in when you register and there'll be no charge. My patheticness really knew no bounds, but since she went through the trouble, I might as well take her up on the offer. Even though it had started out on such a lovely day, I had to get carried away and do something stupid. I completely ruined it. I really just saved my hide there. I've really come to see you as reliable. Even I was scared. That didn't look from my end. But Kei-chan was in trouble, so I had to be brave and do my best. While a little embarrassed by what she just said, she made a show of folding her arms boldly. Shion, thank you. I was thanking her, but I really wanted to thank Mion. Shion, really? Thank you. Now, cheer up a little. If you feel in debt, then when you have the chance, you should help somebody in need. Like, for example, if I'm ever in trouble. Come and save me, will ya? Well, of course, it's a promise. You absolutely have to. Taking advantage of my word, she seemed happy about my promise. So if I'm in trouble, Kei-chan, you'll come and save me, right? I hope trouble comes soon. Oh, look, you're finally smiling. She said that as she smiled herself, poking me in the cheek. A downtrodden Kei-chan is as good as an imposter. Come on, smile, smile. That tickles, stop it. Thanks to Shion's meddling, I cheered up a little. All the muscles in my body that had stiffened because of the incident got to relax a little. When you're in a bad mood, don't you get a little hungry? I'm kind of hungry, so I want to eat some pancakes. Want some too? I wanted to show a little restraint, but restraint really wasn't my thing, so I replied without any. They're good, right? I'm pretty picky when it comes to pancakes. Don't worry, our pancakes have a pretty good reputation. So she ordered some pancakes from a nearby waitress. An employee ordered from another employee seemed kind of weird. Speaking of that, wasn't she in the middle of a shift? She just must like off while talking to me. I told my uncle you saved me when I was surrounded by hoodlums, so he's rewarding you. So I have manager's permission. Exactly the opposite of what happened. It's perfectly fine. By the time the pancakes arrived, we had entered into a relaxed conversation. As the two of us ate pancakes, we livened the mood with chit-chat about what was on TV, celebrities, that sort of thing. Hobbies, food, nothing more than mild chit-chat. Talking together like this, I once again became conscious of Shion being a girl. That's funny talk, my Ibarra. Shion and Mion might be the same person. If there was anything different between them, it was whether or not Mion admits she was her. But given that, how come our conversation was this different? Kei-chan, you don't think of my sister as a girl, do you? Not true. If she were a guy, I'd punch the living daylights out of her. I think the reason you guys get along so well was because you had that kind of platonic relationship going on. A pretty rare and enviable thing to have, don't you think? I don't get what you're saying. But it really would be a waste to treat her like a girl. Kei-chan, that's sexist. Don't remind me. Hearing the word sexist was cause for introspection. Well, was I prejudiced against Mion and Shion for? Mion's Mion, and she was the best friend a guy could have, no matter the reservations, and even head and shoulders above me when it came to club activities. If I had met her 5 years earlier, my wife would have probably been a lot more fun. Of this I have no doubt. And Shion? Mion's little sister. It hadn't even been 3 days since we met. Our relationship was much more distant since the one thread we had in common today. Well, the only thing was that I knew of her sister. And for Shion, it was the same. Somebody she met 3 days ago because I was a friend of her sister's. The difference between Mion and Shion? Friendliness? Familiarity? Playing around with those unclear thoughts for a while, I stopped listening to her. Hypothetically, okay? Are you listening? Sorry, I'm listening. This is just a hypothetical question, okay? Both me and my sister are in trouble, okay? We're dangling off the side of cliffs. Which one of us would you rather save? You can only save one. She wasn't saying it to tease me, but had a playful tone behind her voice. That's not a nice question. I wanted to save you both, but I can't do that, huh? Uh-huh. You can only save either Shion or Mion. Who would you save? If it were Mion, I don't think she'd be in that situation in the first place. This is something she could easily get out herself. What about a normal, frail Shion? I guess I had no choice. It's not my sister, right? If those two were different people, I suppose it would come to that. I couldn't confirm nor deny. She should have been smiling, but her gaze was locked firmly on mine. In other words, that's it, isn't it? My sister's... Sorry, I messed up what I was trying to say. Shion was trying to talk in a light-hearted manner, but I felt that there was something more behind those words. Was Mion trying to tell me something through Shion? Not being able to put a finger on exactly what it was vexing. So to hide her embarrassment, Shion turned the conversation around. More importantly just now, were you surprised when everybody kept showing up? I was. If it were Rena's Sadako, that would have been one thing. But for all those people, young and old together, they were all from Minamizawa, aren't they? That's right. Everybody in here is pretty close-knit. An enemy of one is the enemy of all. No one's going to look on from the sidelines. Pretty reliable group of residents. So if somebody's being picked on, then everybody unites to get rid of it, huh? Sounds like the Mafia or the Yakuza branded unity. You shouldn't say something like that. It's something you should be thankful for. You were saved by that unity, weren't you? Never forget to show your appreciation. I've half-heartedly agreed. I knew full well I should be appreciative. Everybody really is close-knit, aren't they? Maybe it's because of tradition? Minamizawa has been in danger of being a ghost town on several occasions. There's a history of the villagers uniting together each time to fight for the village's continued existence. And if we get to the dam project, I'm probably going to have to skim over this again. For example, Kei-chan, did you know about the... Oh, fuck. Okay, we're gonna forward through this again. Don't worry. This will be done with the magic of editing. Hold on a minute. They got violent? I don't remember that. Pretty much things got violent in this version of the story. They punched, they kicked. There was a time I was hit right around here, I think. Skin split open and a lot of blood spilled out. Yikes, Shion. That must have been rough. But wait. That's probably my thoughts. Sorry. Maybe I'll just skip forward again. That kind of solidarity is pretty nice. You don't see that often. Bridging the generation gap and unifying the region. I think so too. The dam project was a trial. I think that just the fact that we were able to overcome it is huge. The fear I was feeling until now gradually began to fade. When people began to show up one another when I was engaged with those thugs, I thought it was frightening. But now I feel from the bottom of my heart that I have been rude. Villagers were prepared to defend their homeland to the death. A sense of solidarity that fostered from it. It might seem imprudent to say this, but I was a little jealous. If I had been Himizawa when the protest against the dam was going on, I might have been able to share that sense of solidarity. Kei-chan, you weren't here at the time, so I don't think you can fully feel the solidarity in the village. But everybody shares it thoroughly, even with somebody who just moved here, just like you have. She couldn't have been more right. So many people got together to help me out when I was just moved here. Even though they were strangers whose names I didn't even know, a hot feeling began to well up inside me. When I lived in the city, I didn't even know my own neighbors. I thought that was natural, but here that was an absurd and pathetic thing. Even though I thought of them as strangers, all the other villagers viewed me as a comrade. Happiness and warmth. I was acutely aware of those feelings as they gradually welled up inside me. Sonozaki? The manager wants you to work the floor. A more senior waitress waved her hand and called out to Shion. Seems like it was time for her to work. Okay, I'm coming. Sorry, looks like I'll have to get to work now. It's fine. Thanks for hanging out with me. It was fun. Oh, are you gonna go home? Yeah, my mom gets fussy if not home by dinner time. Shion wanted to say something, but she swallowed those words. Like we hadn't talked enough. That kind of feeling. Looking at that expression, I regret saying that something had disappointed me on like that. I was about to say I could stay for a little bit longer when she got up from her seat. Here, if you use the coupon, it should cover the pancakes. Saying that, she showed me a coupon booklet as she tore out a few sheets and handed them to me. Convenient, isn't it? A perk I get on top of my salary. Also, it's okay. I'll pay for the pancakes. Hey, being so reserved doesn't fit you. If I were my sister, you would have gladly let me pay for it, she said as she laughed, gently stopping me from opening my wallet. Being told with such an encouraging smile really resounded with me. Sonozaki, sorry, can you take care of the register? Yeah, right away. Later. Today was fun. Saying that, Shion smiled once more. Oh, and thanks for today, I owe you one. If you really think that, return the favor. I'm looking forward to it. After I said that, I realized I mistakenly called her Mion in that sentence. I didn't know if she realized it or not. Lazing around and watching television after dinner was part of the daily routine. It might seem like a waste at first glance, but you could say it was an important time when I was able to acquire knowledge of everything from politics to economics and various trivia. After dinner was a valuable time well spent with the brain was at its most supplied with nutrients. You idiot, it's obvious that Tokyo Tower's tower. Today I tested my knowledge of trivia by watching my weekly quiz show. Sitting in front of the television, I was able to get a lot of the answers right. But if I were actually up on stage, I'd probably fail miserably. Oh, a phone call. KG phone call from Sonozaki. Alright, Sonozaki? Sorry, Mion. A little late for calling. I had a bad feeling. Oh boy. I had a hunch it was something to do with club activities. Probably going to inform me about what we're going to do. This was Mion we're talking about. She might even go so far as to say we're doing club activities, so hurry up and come on over. But it was 8 p.m. Hello? We're having club hour right now. That's not it. I mean, man, but it was very unlike her in the way of talking. Could it be? Sorry, could it be you're not Mion? Are you Shion? That's right. Good evening. I'm sorry for calling so late. For Mion, this would have been an unfitting, polite way of talking, but since it was Shion, it was natural. Even though they were both the same person, with a dry smile, I enjoyed the mysterious feeling. It's fine, what's up? Kei-chan, do you like sweets like cakes or desserts? There's no way I hated them. I'm an unabashed glutton. That's great, actually, there's a new dessert contest this summer. Looks like they'll have a new dessert menu every season, so they were hiring taste testers for potential desserts. The desserts at Agelmore have a good reputation. It's pretty difficult to get accepted as a taste tester. I'll get right to the point. Ta-da! You say ta-da, but I can't see. Could it be? I have a taste testing ticket right here. If you don't mind sweets, how about it? When you say how about it, you're basically... With that ticket I can eat all the new desserts I want? They say to beware of honey pots, but this was sweeter than any pot of honey. All you can eat free dessert? No way! If you're okay with that, I'll register you as a taste tester. When you come to the restaurant tomorrow, I'll just give the person in charge your name. Then everything will work out. When you say everything will work out, you mean all you can eat? For free? It's free. Quite a bit, so I recommend you come hungry. Such a delectable opportunity. It was almost scary. Really Shion, right? It wasn't me opposing a Shion in order to bait me into a trap, was it? What am I saying? They were the same person. Yeah, I know exactly what you're thinking, Kate-chan. You're thinking this too good to be true. Well, I would never. I heard from my sister, but you're really someone who can't tell a lie. I'm not averse to something like that. She laughed with a voice that sounded a lot like how Mion would. It's not like I was intended on it. Dummy. It just so happens that my shift ends tomorrow. If it's not a bother, I thought maybe we'd spend a little time together up down Your shift ends early? Yeah. So, while you take your time eating dessert, I'll finish up. And you have any plans anyway, I don't mind hanging out with you. It's not like we have to go anywhere. I was thinking we could cool off in the evening while we take a walk. No reason for me to refuse. Out of courtesy, I might as well take up on it. By the way, Kei-chan, you and I have been meeting up every day, haven't we? Now that you say it, I guess we have. Since you said it's okay, we'll have an excuse to meet again tomorrow. What? What's that mean? What was Mion saying? Kei-chan, your voice just cracked. What's the matter? It wasn't a video phone, but you could tell it was beat red. Well then, you should definitely come tomorrow. I'll take my leave. Good night. Good night. She finished what she had to call to say, and ended the conversation without minor chit-chats. When I returned to the living room after hanging out on the phone, the TV was already off and my mom was sleeping in the rocking chair. Not feeling like turning the TV back on, I went back upstairs into my room. I've only been receiving favors from Shion, haven't I? She brought me a bento, saved me when I got involved with thugs. She was supposed to be a different person so I could thank Mion at school. Come to think of it, she probably just says she'll pass it on to her sister. I have to thank Shion directly. Tomorrow I'll have to repay her somehow. And this ends part 4. Yeah, gotta admit. Got a little scary, but hey, at least we got saved. Divine intervention, even though it was kind of scary. Ooh, details of the Delinquent 3. Let's check that out. Details of the 3 delinquents. This is why you're arresting us. Bullshit. Let go of me. Kuma-chan, you can let go of their arms now. Please, sit down. The 3 people rubbed their arms painfully. Kamadi and the others must have been squeezing them pretty tightly. Don't get me wrong. I haven't arrested you or anything. Kuma, go get me something cold from the fridge. Would you like your barley with foam or no? They plunked down at the reception sofa, and despite not yelling anymore, they still have dangerous expressions. What a gift to be young again. I'll drink even if you don't, you know. Excuse me for helping myself. Beer best when you drink on the job. As he downed the beer with glee, the 3 people exchanged glances and finally reached for the cans. They hadn't stopped being cautious. It was more like they didn't see a reason to refuse. They opened their cans and began to drink the contents. Where did you guys come from? You're not from around here, are you? They looked at each other again, suspicious of where they should tell them. College students? Friends on a trip? Probably traveling up bikes. Sounds like fun. I wish I was having some of that. You don't live close by, do you? Where did you come from? Osaka? What's it matter to you? Now, no use to try to intimidate me. You would have all been in a lot of trouble if I left you there, wouldn't you? You seem to recall the thrilling events from earlier. While they can understand getting surrounded by students or a gang or something along those lines, they would never have been surrounded by locals young and old, women and men. It was easy to imagine how scared they must have been. If you were from here, the people of Himizawa would have done anything to you, no matter what you've done wrong. They're all special, not in the sense of parents not wanting to get involved with their children's fights. If one person gets bullied, they'll come out in full force. Not just an idle threat, you know. They couldn't argue against that. They themselves have been surrounded. They've seen it with their own eyes, no doubt. Around these parts, if the people of Hinamizawa gave you a glare like that, you would have been simply demoned away, and no one would hear from you again. You'll suddenly disappear without a trace. Do you all have families that you would get the police to search for you if you went missing? If not, that'll be bad. You'll vanish and that'll be it. Even then, we got there soon enough that nothing happened. If we'd been late, things would have taken a turn for the worse. If they'd been forced into an alleyway, these young men would have been sitting on a couch on them right now. Might be lying on an autopsy table. Or probably not. Oh well, perhaps they'd be a little more cooperative if we found them as corpses. How'd you all get to Okinomiya? Train? Bike? Bike. Not good. They're still parked there, ain't it? If you go waltzing in to get them back, they really might gang up on you. How's that? We'll take them all. Calm down, calm down. Why are you young people these days so quick with the shouting? You don't want any more trouble, right? Tell me the bike license plate numbers. I'll bring them here for you. Kuma, borrow the loading truck we used for the traffic disaster. Got it. He's fine. We'll get him by ourselves. Don't you really want to get surrounded again? Please, might not be fast enough to save you this time. It's fine, isn't it? If you're surrounded, they're gonna get knocked down. Hey! You 3! You're drinking the barley with foam, right? Try turning your engines on. I'm going to be arresting you on the spot for drunk driving. You do know that? It's fucking dirty. Your tax always would put to good use in bringing all your bikes back here. So quit complaining and tell me the goddamn license plate numbers, you pieces of shit. They were hesitant to tell him the numbers, mumbling something along the lines of not remembering them since they just bought them. Oh, that's what I thought. Kuma, go with the truck and bring the bikes back. Get the tough-looking red Yamaha, the one with the broken right tail light. There'll be one with white, with a packing tape stuck to the seat. Those two ones. They should belong to you, right? They didn't answer. They gotta be the right ones. I wish your truck's here so I'll get going. Yes, please do. Oh, hold on, Kuma-chan. One moment. What's up? Look up the numbers. You don't want to bring them the wrong ones back. The three people's faces changed color. They made themselves very easy to understand. Let's take it easy here until you get your bikes back. There's more beer, you know. We'll have some snacks. Want to watch TV? Probably nothing on. Thanks, we're leaving. Don't want to hang here forever. Suddenly there were 5 or 6 huge officers surrounding them. Clearly overpowering stares nailed them to the sofa. What do we do? Going on a trip by stealing motorcycles, huh? Students these days have much too time on their hands. Pieces of shit. Well, Oishi. That was good of them. And with that, I might as well conclude this part. And this recording. And I'll probably take a break from this. So, talk to you guys later.